Okay, now if you have just finished the other video, you might just make sure that that watermark that we just made is closed and you've saved it and all that kind of thing. So now that we're in the second video, this one is where we're going to make the action. So in this video, I'm going to show you real quick on how to create an action for the purposes of applying that watermark to all of the photos that we're going to process for uploading. Now, the first thing we're going to do here is jump into Photoshop. If you don't already have it open, go ahead and open Photoshop. And then that way, things move pretty quickly here. So what we're going to want to do is just let's go and grab any old random photo here. It doesn't really matter, but I think a lot of us are kind of action photographers. So let's just grab one of these action photos here and click open with Photoshop. So we're going to want to, it might be there might be a different way for you to do it that you like, but I like to just go with open with and then Adobe Photoshop. So that opens it up here. Now the first thing that we're going to do is, because this is huge, and in the future when we run this action, we're going to be running it on a file that is 1100 pixels wide. So we want to make this image 1100 pixels wide. So go here to image and then image size. And right here is your pixels. So let's just make this 1100 pixels. And our resolution is fine there at 72 because it's going to be for web use. So we want to keep that nice and low. So just hit OK, and it shrinks it down to this tiny little file. I'm going to hit Command plus so we can see it nice and big on the screen, because some of you guys are going to be watching this on a small screen, and I want to make sure this is as big and clear and easy to follow as possible. So the next thing that we're going to do is start recording this action. Now, remember where your watermark is saved at, because that's going to be important here in just a second. So we're going to click this action button here. If you don't see that, go up here to Window and then Actions, or you can hit Option F9. But Windows and then Actions, it's hard to remember all of these keyboard shortcuts. So that puts it right over here and brings up our actions, and you'll see I have all these crazy actions in here. But basically for this demonstration, we want to click this button here and click New. And if you, anytime in Photoshop, just as a little tip, if you don't know what a button is or does, just hover over it for a little bit with the mouse, and it says right there, create new action. So we're going to do that, and we got to name this action. So let's name it watermark for course, but you name it, whatever you want to name it. Just think of a good name that you like. And I would recommend putting it in your default action so it's easy to find later. And I would not have a function key, because if you accidentally hit the function key, it's going to play this action. I wouldn't do that. And color is not important to me, but it might be to you. So go ahead and put a color on it if you want. It'll just make it colored. So we're going to hit the record button. So now everything we do from here on is going to be recorded in this watermark for course. And you'll see these other ones that I've done here and here. These were leading up to the course. This is the one I use all the time. This is a test one that I made for somebody recently, and just as like a demonstration before I decided to make this course. So you'll see some of these other ones that I've made, and some of them come in Photoshop. Some of these I've purchased from other people. You can export these and save them and sell them if you would like. That sort of thing. That's a thing that people do. But anyway, for this course, I digress. Let's jump into our Finder, or open up a window if you're in Windows, and go to wherever it is that you saved that watermark. So this is the one that we used. We just built this watermark for the course. And you can see this is the PNG, really small, 86 kilobytes. We're just going to drag this and drop it there. And you'll see, because we already made this 1100 pixels wide, that it fits perfectly here. And we're just going to hit enter, and you'll see that right here under watermark for course, we now have an action called place. So it's placing this do not screenshot um, watermark in here onto this photo, and it is perfect. So then that's all we have to do. Super easy, right? Just hit the stop button now, and we have placed it on there. So if for any reason you did not make it 1100 pixels wide like I did, then you just want to, before you hit stop, or if you did hit stop, you can hit record again, and you can just adjust the size of it so it matches the size of your photo that you want to do here. But that's it. That's all we have to do. So now we can delete this layer and just click on watermark for course or whatever you named it, and you can hit the play button and it works. So you can test it, make sure it works, and that looks perfect. So it works great, and we're all set.